Okay, now this is what I discovered. Menopause, right? Which I call hormonal pause, and I call it hormonal pause due to the fact that it has something, of course, to do with your hormones, right? Hormones come through, like, in your mood and different things of that nature. But I wanted to get straight to the point as far as the menopause. Now, some people say perimenopause, which is hormonal imbalance from the beginning, right? It's like a pre, uh, which of course I didn't look that up yet, but this is what I wasn't really wanting to talk about was the peri. I wanted to talk about the menopause period. So people take this menopause thing to be a full blown, complete end, right, to your life for having babies. When God said from the beginning to be fruitful and multiply, right? So this is what I want to do. I discovered that meno means um it means month, right? And it says month or menstruation. And you know what menstruation is? It's a woman's cycle. Whether you're a teenager, however you start, whatever age you start from, rather, and ends, right? Which is not really supposed to end. So, meno means month and menstruation, right? So, pause means interrupt action, right? A temporary stop. It says a temporary stop. Okay, so if pause says a temporary stop, then why do a lot of people think that um, your cycle is supposed to end for good in the menopausal stage, right? Which is really actually a hormonal imbalance. So it's telling you right there that you're still supposed to have a period, right? So I said earlier at the beginning, God speaks in Genesis, right, to Adam and Eve to be fruitful and multiply. So that still stands today, even though Adam and Eve are done for now, right? They're no longer around. That still stands with us women and the man to be fruitful still and multiply, right? Bible speaks there's nothing new under the sun, right? Um, Meaning, what happened before is going to happen again, right? It's going to happen now. It's like a cycle, right? And so looking back to as well at the scriptures on um, Abraham and Sarah. Now I looked that up as well. Sarah was about the oldest woman that was going to have a baby. She was 90 years old. So why is it that people don't believe that it's normal to have a baby up until 90 years old, or could possibly even after? Because if your cycle has stopped, evidently your cycle is not supposed to stop, right? Um, like I said, the menopause, it paused it, right? Your menstruation was paused. That's how we have babies, right? Through our menstruation, right? Because we have to. It's like a cycle with the I know it's TMI, with the blood cycle, like, right, coming through. Um, so you can't never say that it's over for anyone to have a baby. That's why I always revert back to God, right, to the Lord, because He is possible to make things happen, right? When you think there is an impossible um, thing, right, that you're dealing with. Nothing is never impossible for the Lord to do, right? It's just not. It's just not. He's a great, grand, almighty God, right? That can do all things but fail. So, meno, and I had no idea that the meno meant menstruation, and it meant month, as they call it monthly sometimes. And it also stems from men. Month means men, which I didn't know that either. So, of course, it's self-explanatory that man has something to do with, or is involved with the menstrual thing, right, with the woman, because that's how they, um, you know, conceive and whatnot together, right, when they're having a child. So, yeah, don't forget that God can do the impossible, but that's not the point. The point is that it's meant for a woman to continue to conceive. It's meant for her menstrual cycle to continue to go on. It's not supposed to pause at all. It only pauses because there's an imbalance, right? Your period somehow, or your cycle, or your menstruation somehow has stopped for a reason, and it's because of an imbalance in your body. So that's why your body can get overheated. Having flashes. You can have night sweats, and one minute you can be hot, next minute you can be cold. One minute you can have mood swings, next minute you're okay. One minute you're craving for more food, and the next minute that you're not hungry, and that's what you call an imbalance. One minute is on, your your symptoms are on, and the next minute they're off, right? So that's basically the whole nut in the shell, right? So yeah, the intention of God is for us to, man and woman, to be fruitful and multiply. There's not an extension. I said it wrong, I think. There's not a time lapse or a time where it should be shortened to have children. So if you're in a menopause stage, it's because you have a hormonal imbalance in your body. It can always be stabilized though. Um, and it can be stabilized with different types of herbs. It can be stabilized with like yam, it's called, chasteberry, different things of that nature, because it puts the levels of your testosterone back up. See, because your levels, and this goes far and wide in women, um, as you get older, different levels decline, right? Just like they say about collagen in your skin, it can decline at a certain age and go down. So you have to continue to take certain things to keep it up, right? And keep it balanced, right? And level. So it's the same thing with the menopause. It's things that you can take, vitamin D3, to help keep everything in line and keep everything balanced like it should be. So, you know, that covers that part. And I was thinking earlier about the different symptoms, because I named a lot of symptoms, because that's a lot of things that I had been going through, those type of symptoms right there, right? I have to have the air blasting sometimes now, where I couldn't stay in air like that because it would go through my bones, literally, and hurt. So I and your cycle does the same thing, your menstrual does the same thing, causes you to overheat, your body overheats. Menstrual can cause you to get hungry, because that's a symptom I've been dealing with. I would get extra hungry, and I know when it's time almost for my cycle to come on, which it has not been on, but it's because there's an imbalance, right? I believe sometimes you can get headaches and different things of that nature, You can get brain fog, all of that, right? I get the same thing sometimes. So, oh, excuse me. There's a lot of how this go into play, right? As far as um, having menopause. So, take inventory of that, and if you don't believe me, do your research and find that out. That's how you get to know things. That's how you get to know what to do for yourself. Keeping yourself intact and in balance, right? As a woman, or probably even as a man, I don't know, because they don't deal with the same thing we do. So I can only speak on a woman's point of view. So I will be back again, hopefully, Lord's will, with another video.